Oh, beautiful soul family. Rebecca here, your vibe mentor, bringing you the Monday Magic Intuitive Energy reading from the up north woods in Wisconsin. Thought I'd bring you down to the lake and show you the beautiful view. There might be some noise. There might be some boats going by, but I hope you'll enjoy this break away from the talking head in the chair at the office. So let's talk today about the energy. For those of you who might be new here, the Monday Magic Intuitive Energy reading is just my take on how I'm experiencing the energy so that you can know you are not alone. What we have found is that many times that the energy that one person is experiencing is also being experienced by many others. And it can be very helpful to be reminded that you are not alone in this. We also talk a lot on this channel about how the conditioning, programming, and even trauma in the world today can cause us to isolate and go into hermit mode and feel like it's just me, right? What's wrong with me? Why am I the only one experiencing this? So again, just a reminder, you're never alone. Typically what you're experiencing is very common for those of us who have been through something similar to what you've been through. And that means the good news is that the solution is also available once you find it, and it's not difficult. So I don't want to get off on that tangent. Obviously, I feel very passionately about that one, so I could talk all day, but we're going to stay focused on the energy today. So in the last 36 hours, we have had a solar flare, an X-class solar flare. Of course, C-class and M-class have been pretty consistent and regular over the last few weeks and even months. It's almost become a regular thing to have an M-class flare, which it is not typically. We do have peaks and valleys in the solar weather. We are approaching a solar maximum. So to have this much activity is appropriate for the time and space that we're in relative to the cycles. But an X class is on the higher side, and it can cause us to feel like we have more to process, more to deal with. There's more coming in and more for our bodies to release and to process. So our KP index reached a 7, I believe. Pardon my squinting. I have blue eyes, and so the brightness is very bright, but I would hate to talk at you with sunglasses. So I'm just going to squint instead. So over the last 36 hours, there definitely has been I've noticeable frustration and tension for people around me. Even in this past week, there has been a fair amount of tension and just higher amplified intensity. Um, and that's interesting because we did have the full moon on Monday, and it was a calmer one. It wasn't as intense as typically I experience them. Usually it's about 3 days in advance where I start to really feel the extra layer of energy and the extra energy required to maintain a higher vibration and to process and release things. That didn't happen this time, which was kind of nice. It was only on the day of the moon on Monday where it was a bit more activated, but still not terrible. But what's interesting was there was less of a decline in the energy than there typically is this last week. It was more of just this sustained kind of low level intensity. Certainly plenty of excitement, plenty of things going on, lots of communications and activity, no shortage of things to grab your attention, and yet just a little bit more effort required to maintain that higher vibration. I would say as far as the theme of the energy over the last few weeks and even in this past week, it has remained in sort of a pruning. It feels like we're being pruned. We're being asked to pare back. There's a couple of dragonflies mating off to my left here, which is beautiful. Blue, of course, my favorite color. But anyways, the energy of pruning is continuing. We have really been in this strong theme of reevaluation and sort of the battle of the two worlds. Sort of, are we in the new world or are we not? And this has gone on for months, this back and forth feeling of stepping into the new but still having to deal with the old, or back into the old and then back into the new, and what does the new look like? And so I guess that I'm trying to find the words for this theme that I'm sensing, and it's really around clarity of direction, clarity of desire, clarity of where we want to focus, what we want to create, really getting clear on what serves us. And I try to shy away from terms that are overused, like letting go of the things that no longer serve us. But sometimes they're required. Sometimes it's just there's no better way to say it. And that has been happening very strongly over the last couple of weeks and has continued this past week. I felt like we got clarity 2 weeks ago, where it was like, okay, this is the thing I know I need, or this is the thing that I know is the highest priority in my life, or these are the changes that are happening in my personal life and in my business life and in my family life, in my home life. And having clarity around that a couple weeks ago was great. It was a bit of a relief. Just really not knowing was more uncomfortable. But yet, even though we got that clarity and we knew where we were going, we still have this feeling of adaptation or alchemy, or how is that going to come through? How are we going to get from where we are to this thing that we gained clarity on? I now know where I want to go. I now know where I want to take things, but how do I want to write the tyranny of the how, as Tony Robbins likes to say? The how is still showing itself. And we are continuing to receive insights on how it might be possible to achieve that. I think we're also realizing that we have placed a lot of restrictions on ourselves that may or may not be real. It is more of a perception or an illusion of restriction, that we have to wait until this thing happens, or we have to wait until this date, or we have to accomplish, we have to achieve. We're perpetually postponing, when this happens, then I'll be happy, or when that happens, then I can make this shift and change. And so we are purging and releasing just as much the perception of the how as we are the actual things that we are letting go of. And it could be easy for us to get weighed down in the mire of, right, the tyranny of the how, the muck and the mud and the stickiness of, but I have to do this, or I can't do that, or I should do this, right? All these restrictions and rules, these prisons that we build for ourselves, can create heaviness and density and a feeling of stuckness or being trapped. And there's another option that we don't have to, that's not a requirement to get stuck in that mud. That if we allow ourselves to see the truth of our freedom here and now, we can step into it more quickly, more easily, with less restrictions, with less delay. It's important to remember this tug of war between the new and the old doesn't have to be painful. That this yearning and the heart's desire, this urge, this, oh, I really want this. I really wish I was there. I wish I had this thing. I wish I was with this person. That this yearning is an amplification of manifestation, that our hearts are kind of like generators as we pulsate out the yearning and the desire. As long as it's coming from a place of knowing and certainty and trust and faith and surrender, it can be a very powerful thing. If it's coming from a place of lack or restriction or doubt or worry or concern or fear, then we're actually pulsating out blocks to the thing that we're yearning for. So yearning and desire can be a really good thing as long as it's coming from a place of knowing and certainty and power and authority and freedom and trust and surrender and faith and all these lovely things that we talk about that are so much easier said than done, right? So we just really have to be careful not to let the uninformed optimism creep in and then cause this disappointment when we become informed that certain things are going to be required, or this, we can get really excited about the shiny object syndrome, right? This new thing, this is going to be the thing that makes me happy, this is going to be the thing that makes me feel free, this is going to be the thing that solves all of my problems. And yet that's just kind of shiny object syndrome. We're still here, we're still in this place now. And if we lose sight of the progress that's being made, we will not enjoy the journey. That when we keep our eyes on how far we've come and how much we've accomplished, then we will realize the journey is pretty amazing and enjoyable, and that will help us focus our energy. Our most valuable currency is our source of creation is our focus and attention and our belief and our perception. So the sun's starting to come out now. If I can lean into the shadows here. But we just want to remember we're always free in every moment. The illusion of the The prisons that we build for ourselves can be broken free from in any moment as soon as we just choose to say, I'm free now. I can make this change now. I don't have to wait. I don't have to resist my current state to be able to build my future. That we are physically free in every moment as soon as we release the perceptions of not being free. And that's where the truth of our authentic nature lies. That's where joy lies. That's where freedom lies, is in this choosing to believe right here, right now, I am free and I can shift and change this in any moment. Restriction is found in resistance to what is. And the same way, expectations are premeditated resentment. I love the song Row, Row, Row Your Boat Gently Down the Stream. Literally, if we are struggling and fighting against the water, we're going to drown. But if we would just roll over and float, we could drift gently down the stream and enjoy life in the process. All right. Battery's going to die, so I'm going to have to cut this one short. I love you, my friends. Join us tomorrow, free Manifesting Abundance Through Your Life Purpose Accelerator, starting on 8/8 in a Facebook group. Jump in, links below. Otherwise, I will see you on the next video. I love you, my friends. Take care. Bye.